and walking with us in this journey of Ephesians 4 and maturing of our relationships. This is going to be part 2. In Ephesians 4, of course, is where we are getting all our discussion today. We looked at verse 1 and 2, and today we're going to look at verse 3. Let me just again encourage you to keep connected and keep engaged with us, and it encourages us, and I'm sure it helps you to also vent your feelings on what you feel about what we are discussing. So Paul in verse 3 says that make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you are called to one hope when you are called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God, one Father of all, who is above all. Basically here is a whole need for us to value a peaceable life. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. I think in most relationships, and particularly in our relationship with God, there are moments when we feel disconnected from that place of peace and that place of knowing what God means and what He is to us. And that is a reflection of how we feel about each other sometimes, that we get disconnected, we drift away. So why keep that unity, and why be a peaceable person? See, we are called to be at peace with people. We are also called that our relationships with others should authenticate our relationship with God. It's also true that everyone is unique and they need to be loved the way they were created. And I think it is not fair for us sometimes to criticize your partner in a way that demeans who they are and how they were made. We need to treat all equally without prejudice or partiality. See, God is keen about the way we relate to others and relate to Him. Remember, where people dwell in unity, God commands a blessing. Look at several scriptures with me. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 14, the first part, it says, pursue peace with all. Make every effort to live in peace with all. That's the NIV. Strive for peace with everyone. That's the ESV. And Romans chapter 12 and verse 18, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. And Romans 14:19, it says, make every effort to do what? So why am I going through all those scriptures? But you can see there's this whole element about us ensuring that we are determined in establishing peace in our relationship with God and with each other. What kills our peaceable environment? In James chapter 4 and verse 1, what causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle inside of you? What do we need to do to deal with these unfulfilled inner desires? I think the first thing is to notice this voice. What is this voice speaking inside of you? This conflicting voice that speaks to you and you feel agitated, or you feel indifferent, or you feel you need this or you need that. You see, we need to identify that, to notice this voice. People often listen to critical inner voices without realizing it. And in the end, they don't reflect. And when they don't reflect, they end up in trouble. So we need to identify also the source. Not just to notice this voice, but to identify the source of this voice. Is it out of my selfish desire? Is it outside of my, worldly attractions? Did I see, for example, something, I got attracted to it, or did I listen to something and it made me angry and I reflect it on other people? So we need to notice the voice and identify the source. And thirdly, we need to challenge the voice. Where are you from? Why are you speaking this way? Why should I feel like this about so and so? So it is important. When we do that, we are able to test between right and wrong. The second thing that is in there also in verse 2 is the whole issue of unruly and untamed desire. So inner desire can be good, but when it is unruly and untamed, it can bring disaster. In verse 2 it says, you desire but you do not have, so you kill, you covet, you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and you fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. So basically we are fighting each other because we are in need of something that we are not getting. See, failure to challenge and to direct our inner desires will lead to inner battles and inner fights and inner complaints. See, unfulfilled desire will lead to quarrels and fights. We distance from each other. We soon begin to feel indifferent and we push each other aside. But the admission of need is key in restoring an environment that will help us to heal and to bring back a peaceable environment. So why do desires continue to battle and rage within us? See, one is we fail to seek help. See, the Bible finished there by saying that you do not have because you do not ask. So when we learn to ask for help about our anger, about our indifference, about why we are so quiet and we're not talking, when we don't do that, we lead ourselves into trouble. Then the other part of it is that we are being driven by wrong motives. When we can't deal with the wrong motives that drive us, then we'll constantly sink into battle within us. You ask with the wrong motives that you may spend it on your own pleasures. You know, sometimes we don't realize that we are so selfish. When we are selfish, we kill the love within us. So in Romans 14 and 19 and in Ephesians 3, two things come out. One is personal determination. Make every effort. Pursue what makes peace. Be diligent to preserve. Be eager to maintain the unity. See, they are all about my determination to make things right. The second thing that comes out is a personal calling to do particular things. And Colossians chapter 3 and verse 15, it says, let the peace of Christ rule your hearts. So instead of anger, pain, indifference, past hurts ruling our hearts, we allow the peace of God to rule our hearts. See, forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. So when you forgive others, you get peace. And I'm so excited and waiting to meet you next week. But at the moment, engage with us. Send us a comment. Let us know what you think and what you feel. We love you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for watching Open Hearts. What a pleasure. It's always a joy to know that you are on the other side of the link. But please, be sure to comment, be sure to like, and you know what? Subscribe too, and send it to a friend. And let's all make this a great family.